Is back into it in Chester. Here's El Senior. Yes!
The center back, Jacob Glesnes,
He's going for it.
Oh my God! What a goal!
And that will do it! One of the best comebacks in recent years. 3 unanswered by the Union. And they go into the Gold Cup break, winning it 3.
Hello, welcome to the Free Kick Podcast. My name is Todd. We'll make that 7 in a row, baby, against DC United. I can only imagine what Subaru Park would have been like if all of us were there. I mean, you talk about such a lopsided, quote-unquote, rivalry, because how can one fan base consider it a rivalry when the Union absolutely dominate this? I think in the last 7 games, the Union have like 22 goals, 5 or 7 against and everything. So, yeah, if I'm a DC United fan, yeah, I would not want to consider this a rivalry when my team's not very good at all and everything. But, you know, I feel like, you know, if all of us were there at the stadium, I feel like we could have pushed the boys on to score 1, maybe 2 goals. More goals, I should say. Sorry, 4 goals, you know, it's a lot of goals. We'll take a 4-goal performance. But I feel like, you know, the energy we give off and everything could have pushed some of the players to get 1 or 2 more goals and everything. Could have been New England all over again, where we beat them last year 6-1. Who can forget that game? And Brad Friedel gets fired. And as of right now, Ben Olsen hasn't been fired. But, you know, hey, we'll take it, you know. The longer Ben Olsen's a coach, I feel like the more and more we're just going to continue to dominate DC United. But, you know, I'll tell you, there's just genuinely going to be no reason for any of us to complain at all. I mean, I'm sure I'm going to have something and everything. I mean, I guess other than not keeping a clean sheet, but just, man, what a performance on the night and everything. And I'll dive into that, obviously, and everything. And like we always do, let's just go straight into the news. So starting off, former Philadelphia Union striker Veljko Paunović has been appointed the new manager of Reading FC in England, which a lot of Reading fans I've seen are not happy at all with this appointment because, you know, who can blame them? I mean, yeah, let's face it, Veljko wasn't with Philadelphia Union for that long, 1 year and everything, honestly. I don't even, like, I didn't watch the team back then, so I don't know too much about him, other than the fact that, you know, when he was coaching Chicago Fire, they were absolutely a mess. I think he coached 100 games. Well, I don't think. I'm looking at it right here. He coached 100 games. He had 31 wins, 25 draws, 44 losses. That comes out to be a 31% winning percentage. And, yeah, that is not good at all. This is a guy who's managed the Serbia U18, the Serbia U19, Serbia U20, and then he got the job with Chicago Fire in 2015. And, you know, they're going to hope that they can get something out of him. Reading, you know, they're a team that's been in the championship, if you follow English soccer, for the last couple of years and everything. They have been hopeful as of late to try to get promoted and everything. And I guess the Reading board thinks that Veljko is the guy to get the job done for them. No, I mean, all of us that have watched the Chicago Fire over the years, we could definitely tell them otherwise. So good luck to Veljko and everything. I don't think he'll be in that spot by the end of the year. But, you know, maybe he'll surprise us and everything. I just don't see it happening. But going on to the second bit of news I want to give you guys. Reggie Cannon of FC Dallas has a deal in place with Portuguese club Boavista. I hope I'm saying that club right. This is a club that I saw that's always close to fighting relegation, which is a little bit disappointing. You know, we, as a league, you'd love to see young Americans go overseas. You'd love to see young Americans play in Europe. You know, that's what we all want to see. And now we saw Weston McKennie leave Schalke to join Juventus on loan with an option to buy, which is just an incredible deal for Weston McKennie to get to play with Ronaldo, to play in the best club in Italy, to just play Champions League football and have an honest chance of winning that. I mean, congrats to Weston McKennie, but for Reggie Cannon, you know, it's hard for me to imagine that there weren't teams in England that were interested in him. I think he's a guy who could have been playing in the championship, but, he's going to be playing soccer in Europe, which is great for him and everything. The move, I have no clue who Boavista is, other than looking out where they finished the last couple of years in the league table. Don't seem like a great club, honestly. So it's a little bit concerning, that there was reports. I saw that maybe some lower championship teams were interested in him. I guess they were just rumors out there. And you see a lot of Americans go to the Bundesliga. I think it would have done well to go to the Bundesliga, but, reports are out there that he is finally getting his move to Europe and everything. This is what FC Dallas wanted all together. And his teammate, Paxton Pomykal, is going to get surgery on his hip again. And that's back-to-back seasons that Paxton has missed and everything. This is supposed to be their biggest promising player from their academy and everything. I mean, not counting Weston McKennie, obviously, but this is a guy who they've had hopes the last couple of years that he's going to go play in Europe and everything. And there was reports earlier in the week that AC Milan apparently are tracking Paxton Pomykal because he played well in the U20 World Cup and everything. And apparently they were super impressed, and apparently AC Milan are interested. But, when you build up seasons where you get injured back-to-back years and everything, you're not building a case for yourself. And that's what we talked about with Brenden, Aaronson, and Mark McKenzie. If there's really interest right now, if we get a good deal and everything, do you want to take the risk that these guys are going to be getting hurt? Like Paxton Pomykal, where, he's starting to look like he's an injury-prone player. And, like I said, there's rumors that AC Milan are interested, but at the same time, it's only rumors. Nobody's come out and said, yeah, this is 100% a fact and everything. And that's what the union are going to consider with Brenden Aaronson. It's like the longer we keep on to him, maybe you and Mark would get injured and teams just wouldn't be interested in signing you guys anymore. So it's like, if the interest is really real, which it obviously is, then maybe after the season, not maybe, this is definitely the time to sell them. So yeah, it's, it sucks if you're an FC Dallas fan, which again, I know everybody listening to this podcast aren't, but I know there's a couple of you guys in Texas that listen to the podcast, so thank you guys for that. But it's like, it's got to suck if you're an FC Dallas fan, your best player, where you were hoping to get money coming in, where you can invest that money and everything, and well, Paxton's hurt again, and now you get something for Reggie Cannon, but I can't imagine that it's going to be the $5+ million that we keep seeing that, Paxton Pomykal is supposed to go for and everything, but it's not a problem and everything. So yeah, I like, as harsh as it is, I don't don't care about FC Dallas that much, and I'm sure you guys feel the same way. But the last bit of news I want to bring up is, according to Transfer Market, Brenden Aaronson's market value has went up from $1.4 million to now $4.4 million, while Mark McKenzie has went from $495,000 to $2.2 million. You talk about the great showing these guys have had in the MLS is Back tournament, and then after the tournament, just to continue the regular season. Both of them have been playing phenomenal soccer and everything. And seeing the market value, Mark McKenzie, I could see go for 1.5-2 million. I could see Brenden go for 2.5 to 3.5. I definitely don't think it's going to be, that full market value for either one of these guys and everything. But, if they keep playing as well as they have, I don't see why their value can't rise even further and everything. But like I said, a couple minutes ago, it's like, that's something that the union are going to be discussing amongst themselves. It's like, well, if we keep them for another year, there's a chance that their market value goes up. But if we keep them too long, they can get injured, like Paxton Pomykal or, Aaron Long, who has been rumored to be of interest of so many clubs in Europe and everything, but the deal never materialized, and now he's stuck in MLS and everything. So it's like, yeah, Ernst has a tough decision on his hand, but I think, I think he's going to make the right one, and he's a smart guy and everything. Because another thing that I looked at, not only did they update Transfer Market, that is, update the values of players, but just in general, how much clubs are worth and everything. And the top 5 clubs come in as LAFC. They're valued at $74.3 million. Then you have Atlanta United, who are valued at $62.3 million. Then you have Inter Miami that are valued at $52.6 million. You have NYCFC who are valued at $38.6 million. And then in fifth, you have Toronto who are also valued at $36.6 million. And the Union aren't even in the top 10. We know that. The Union don't spend a ton of money. And if you guys are interested, of course you guys are interested. Philadelphia Union, they are valued at $24.3 million. That is number 5 from the last place team, which is Real Salt Lake, who are valued at $17.3 million. You talk about getting your money's worth, Ernst Tanner, where they're not spending a ton of money. They're investing into that academy. And they're a top 4 club in the East. That is just phenomenal work from Ernst Tanner, where he doesn't have the big budget as most of these teams. But he's able to use his connections in Europe, get good bargain deals. And in a couple years, we'll see players like Kai Wagner, probably Jamiro Montero get sold back to Europe. Matai Orvats, if he ever gets a start, which he will. We're going to see Brenden Aaronson, Mark McKenzie coming through the academy. These guys came through the academy, playing so well for us. They're going to get sold to Europe. The system is working. And to be the 6th lowest valued team in MLS, to be sitting in 3rd place right now, is just phenomenal work from Ernst and Jim Curtin. I mean, we've got 2 great ones on our hands, folks, and they just, I know you guys appreciate them. I know I do and everything, but I feel like it's just not talked about that much around the league. These 2 guys have created such a good system for a team that doesn't spend that crazy amount of money. So shout out to Ernst for the work that he's doing, and shout out to Jim for getting the most of these players. But, let's just go ahead and talk about the Philadelphia Union versus DC United, which we all know that game ended 4-1 to Philadelphia Union. And first off, I just want to say, thank you for listening to the podcast, Casper. I knew if I said we need a DP striker that you would find your form again. I just knew it. So thank you, Casper, for listening. And I guess it motivated you to score goals. But no, seriously, just what a performance by Casper. 4 goals in 8 games now from Casper. Back-to-back games where Casper has scored at least 1 goal. Just what a time for Casper to start getting hot. Picks up an assist also to Brenden Aaronson to give the Union the 4th of the game. I think, it's been a while since we've had a striker for the Union have that good of a performance. I mean, we complain about Casper always going off sides. We complain about him needing to time his runs better. We complain about his touch needs to be better. Well, he fixed that last game. His touch was great this game. Didn't go off sides at all this game and everything. It's just, honestly, I can't think the last time that we had such a complete performance from a striker. Getting 2 goals, getting an assist. He was making great runs off the ball. He was holding up the ball well. I mean, you look, something that really stands out to me is he had 3 shots, only 3 shots this game. And guess what? 2 out of those 3 shots were goals. That is clinical. What a clinical striker. He had 5 key passes this game. 5 for a striker. 5 key passes that led to goals. Please tell me the last time we saw a striker have this good of a performance, because it is just blank in my mind. I can't think of the last time we had a striker play this well. We finally scored a goal off of a corner. It was a great ball by Jamiro, which was flicked on by Jamiro and Casper, like any good striker, in the right place at the right time, and he was able to poke it home. It doesn't need to be anything beautiful, but you know what was beautiful? That second goal. I mean, that was a top strike. Who knows what Julian Gressel was doing, but that's not our problem. Casper makes it look so easy with that strike on the top of the box with his right-footed shot, bends it in. That's not an MLS striker kind of goal. That goal that he scored was a DP-like signing type of goal. And we're not even paying Casper DP-type money. And we get goals like that. We got the production we got out of him last season and everything. It's like we knew his quality. It's just the big question mark on Casper was, can he stay healthy? All the surgeries he had on his feet. Can he stay healthy? And, maybe the heat got to him down in Orlando. Maybe all he needed to do was just come back north and everything and find his feet, find where he's comfortable, He scored last week against Red Bulls and put the ball in his shirt and announced that him and his girlfriend, fiance, are expecting a baby. So, maybe while he was down in Orlando, maybe he was thinking about that. Now he's back home and everything, and if anything goes wrong, he's there and everything. So he just feels a lot more comfortable. And not only him, but all the players probably feel a lot more comfortable too and everything. So he's back home. He's back where he's comfortable. And in 2 games at home, he scored 3 goals and everything. And so hopefully this is just the start of more things to come, and we can see 15-plus goals from Kasper again. I believe he has it in him and everything. It's like, I know I said, okay, well, when these guys are on, they're on. When they're off and everything. And yeah, maybe we do need a DP-type striker and everything. And man, I mean, I'm not complaining. I'm really not complaining and everything. And I will eat my words. Kasper can make me eat my words. But El Brujo, too, let's talk about him. Just what a pass from El Brujo to split the DC United defender. And Sergio, just the guy who has pace for days, sends a powerful shot right at Seitz. And Seitz can do just nothing about it. And, I love doing this chant all night long. I mean, to be fair to Chris Seitz, his defense didn't do him much of anything. I mean, other than Donovan Pines, I thought DC United's defense just, like I said, just let down Seitz. And, it felt good singing that chant when Seitz is letting the other team down. He's not letting us down for once, Only if Seitz could have dropped the ball like he did against DC United. I know you guys all remember that when I don't even know what he was trying to do when he just drops the ball down and everything, gets put on his butt by the DC United player, and the DC United player has a tap in. Only if Seitz could have done that for us, so Kasper could have got his hat trick. But just, oh man, what a performance by Seitz. Just got no love from his defense at all. And another thing is, I just found myself paying attention to Brenden Aaronson more and more. And I realized, yeah, maybe it's not that big of a deal if Brenden doesn't have that many touches. You guys have heard me the last couple podcasts talking about, Brendan's only had 35 touches this game, 36, 39, 40. We know he's not a true number 10. And the one thing I'll give Brenden credit for is he's so much more confident this year, going 1v1 against players, forcing them into making mistakes. He's so clever at knowing when to make his runs, which is a huge help for opening things up for the Union. The space you see him open up for Jameer, for Kasper, to run into that open space. You see it so many times. They run in just completely unmarked. I thought the first half, the defense was excellent from Brenden. I thought the second half, he was great too defensively. And that's the one thing about a number 10. You don't really see a number 10 go back and win the ball back and everything. They just kind of stay up top and everything and try to create. But Brendan's not that type of player. Yeah, he'll create and everything, but he's better when he's drifting out wide as opposed to just staying centrally and everything, where he has multiple bodies in the way and everything, and he can go out wide and just go 1v1 like we saw him pick up that foul at the edge of the box for us and everything. And just in general, the whole defense. In the first half, they were excellent. In the second half, as it went on, things started to get a little bit sloppy. Gressel was completely unmarked when he ran into the box and scored the first and only goal for DC United. And somehow Matt Real and Jack Elliott are following the same guy. And then by the time that Matt realizes it's just too late. Yes, Andre Blake should have done better. But with how hard it was raining, it's understandable why he had trouble parrying the ball away. I thought Mbaizo was excellent both defensively and offensively. Yeah, he got the ball stolen from him a couple of times, but for the most part, he played really, really good. He had 4 interceptions on the night. His speed was huge in intercepting some of those passes that DC had, which as soon as he cut the pass off with his speed and everything, he was looking straight to go on that counterattack. Him and El Senior were linked up well at times like we we saw against New York Red Bulls last week as well. And I thought it was a risky ball, too, by Matt Real to switch from his left to right to keep the ball on the ground in his own defensive half. And it worked somehow, and Mbaizo was able to play that beautiful ball to Casper, and Casper finds Aaronson. It's just what a great ball by Mbaizo and everything. And I think Kevin Kincaid, or maybe it was Joe Tanzi, one of those guys said, yeah, I can't remember the last time we had two separate right backs register an assist in back-to-back games, which is definitely another true point. Maybe it's never happened. I don't know, but yeah, just overall, it was a great performance by the Union and everything. I have a couple good points that I want to bring up. Number one, you've always got to give credit to Jim Curtin where credit's due. I thought him resting McKenzie and Gaddis was a really good call, especially when we have Columbus this Wednesday at 7:30, which is set to be a very, very tough game. You have, a partnership of Jack Elliott and Glesnes that you do have to establish, because we all know that it's only a matter of time, like I said earlier, like I've said in multiple weeks, until Mark McKenzie's sold. We all know he's getting sold. It's just when. So I thought for the most part, Elliott and Glesnes played well. And yeah, just props to Jim for giving a rest. And don't worry, there will be a bad to give for the flip side of that. And you guys are probably like, oh yeah, I know exactly what you're going to say. Number two, I think El Brujo was excellent on the night, shutting things down in the middle. He reads the game so well for the most part. And for the most part, it's when he gets the yellow cards, when he shouldn't make stupid challenges. But, I think for the most part, he's learning. He completed 27 out of 29 passes, though. Got an assist on the night, his first of the season. He had 4 interceptions. He won all of his tackles, which, granted, he only had to make 1 tackle. But we're not only starting to see how good El Brujo is defensively, but this game proved to us that, yeah, El Brujo is becoming more comfortable on the ball. He's not afraid to take players on 1v1. He's not afraid to get himself in tight spaces, and we've seen that at times and everything. But yeah, this is a guy who we knew that we needed somebody to contribute defensively, and anything that we can get offensively from a number 6, we'll take it. But now he's starting to look like a proper number 6. He honestly is. Yes, he's never going to play those balls like Harris played and everything. But, if he can play like he played against DC United, we don't need him to play those kind of balls. You just need Mbaizo to play those kind of balls, because who knew he had that in his locker? But, just, again, minus that yellow card, an excellent night from El Brujo. And I am a little bit worried, one more yellow card, he'll miss the next game. So if he gets a yellow card against Columbus, I'll be a little bit concerned, because we don't get much offensively out of Warren. But when Warren did come on at the start of the second half, he did play well too. So, when the game was 3-0 already at the end of the first half and everything, it made sense to bring off El Brujo and everything. Couldn't risk getting a red card and everything. And just what a game he had. What a game. And I feel like every week we're saying, man, El Brujo really impressed. El Brujo did this really, really well. And I just continue to be amazed by this guy. This guy's been such a great signing for us. The third point I want to bring up, though, is just as a team in general, we were really good at stealing the ball back from DC United. We intercepted the ball 19 times, I believe it was. The press was working really well for the most part, causing errors for DC United. And you just love to see it. You'd love to see the diamond work and do what it's supposed to do in the middle of the field, and everything just cause pressure and everything to take away their attacking options in the middle and everything. And Jameer just had a great game defensively too. And Ali Bedoya, and like I said earlier, Brenden does a good job coming back to play defense. And yeah, just like I said, just defensively, things were really, really solid in intercepting the ball, in my opinion. And the last good thing I want to bring up is just, again, the flanks. Both of them, Kai Wagner and Matt Real and Mbaizo, were just good at attacking from out wide. Jim Curtin said that Kai could have finished the game, but there's no need to take the risk. We're just taking precaution, because they're going to need him against Columbus and everything. And for the most part, Matt Real played good, I thought, all night and everything. So, again, just all 3 of those guys I mentioned did such a great job attacking from out wide and everything, giving great service to the strikers inside of the box. And guys, only 2 bad things I can really think of. And number one, Andrew Rutan, he has to finish his chances. Around the 76th minute, Ali chipped a great ball to Vutin to go 1v1 against Seitz, but he kicked it right at him. And this is a guy who I think is definitely lacking confidence. And I thought, yeah, that goal that he scored against Portland, I thought this would be the start of good things to come. And it hasn't yet, but I'm still not giving up hope and everything. It is, without a doubt, that Sergio and Casper are 1-2 strikers. We know it, and as much as I love Sergio coming off the bench last week, it's like when Andrew's not scoring, when Andrew's not doing much with the ball, then it's like you're playing with 10 men out there and everything. So this would have been a perfect game for him to score a goal and everything to get his confidence going. I still believe in him, but it was disappointing to see him be 1v1 and kick the ball straight at Seitz when that should have been a goal for him. It's just no beating around the bush. It should have been a goal. And the last point I want to bring up, which I'm sure all of you guys agree with this, I don't know why Jim brought in Elsinho. There was no need for it. Maybe when the Union brought Elsinho back, maybe they're like, okay, well, look, you know you're not going to start, but we're going to play you no matter what every single game. But I would have put in Anthony Fontana. What does Anthony have to do to get some minutes? You know, like I said earlier, it was great to rest Mark McKenzie and Ray Gaddis, but why not take off Ali Bedoya to give him some time off and everything to rest his legs? He's not getting any younger. Anthony Fontana, when you're up 4-0, could have done a job. It's discouraging not seeing Anthony out there because you know he's a great player and everything. It's just, for whatever reason, just Jim doesn't trust him, I guess. I don't know. I just don't have anything else really to say. I don't think Anthony's a bad player at all, but you know, how can I complain when Jim continues to make all the right decisions for the most part, other than not putting in Anthony Fontana? But like I said earlier, the results see the Union moving to third place. They're 3 points off of first place Toronto and 2 points off of Columbus. And that game against Columbus is going to be a tough one. I'm a little bit nervous, I'm not going to lie, and everything. We saw what happened near the end of last season when we had to go to Columbus, and we really needed to win that game, and we blew it. But, you know, that was last year, and this is a new team this year. And like I keep saying, you know, they have a year under their belt playing with each other. They know how to play and everything. And, you know, I'm feeling confident in everything. And I'll give my thoughts and everything in the next couple of days on that Columbus game and everything. But we're going to go ahead and do Blunder of the Week. And I'm just going to go ahead and get this out of the way real quick and say my Blunder of the Week is going to go to Real Salt Lake owner Dell Loy Hansen. And I'm pretty sure you guys have read online what he said and everything. And I'm going to play a little bit of the interview and everything, and I'll link the whole interview here in the show notes and everything. But I will say real quick, though, before I play the interview, is that it's being reported that Dell Loy is going to be selling Real Salt Lake, that he put them up on the market, and he said by 2021 he hopes that there will be new owners and everything. But yeah, I'm going to play some of that interview if you guys have not heard that, and here we go.
So let's go to the phones. We got Andy Carroll and Dell Loy Hansen on the phone.
Gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning. How are you folks today?
We're okay, Andy. And Dell Loy, are you there as well?
Yeah, I'm right here. I was speaking. Andy's here at my side. We're here at the Real Stadium.
Of course, Dell Loy Hansen, the owner of Real Salt Lake and the owner of this radio station, and Andy Carroll, president of Real Salt Lake. The game last night against the Los Angeles Football Club, scheduled to start at 7:30. There were boycott rumors. Some NBA teams, I think the Milwaukee Bucks were the first to say we're gonna not play our games because of the situation going on in Kenosha, Wisconsin, and the George Floyd and everything that's going on. We're going to not play and stand in solidarity with people who are protesting. That's quickly spread, and RSL, with about an hour before the game, said we stand with those other teams, and it's spread all over the professional sporting world. Players said we are not going to play. How did that decision play out and go down? Both of you, I'm sure, were there and involved in it. How did all that happen?
Well, it unraveled, from market to market. So we were paying attention, working with other clubs, actually, having a number of conversations, with regards to other clubs, because there was, I think Orlando was going to go off, and they went off and played, and then Atlanta, they were a couple hours ahead of us, didn't play. So it was really, quite frankly, there was a lot of confusion around it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the real thing, that we want to say is Real was preparing in the most profound way. As an organization, we view that we're a community builder, uniter. We bring things together, and we work with our fans to be, while we're very different, when we're here, we're united, we're together, and we're a family. And so, obviously, there's a profound disappointment that spirit that is Real was abandoned last night. We'd worked, brought back 40 employees this last week. I sat for about 6 hours and reinstated the full wages and new people back so that we could serve the food, greet the guests, make sure they were safe. We could greet 5,000 fans in a very safe and effective manner. Our staff here worked 60, 70 hours putting out protective shields, signage, making sure that we did dry runs for 2 weeks with the USL team. We went through a profound amount of preparation during a COVID era to still be able to create our sense of community where people could be invited. And obviously we failed at a profound level. I'll have Andy tell one story, and there's hundreds of these about a fan from Idaho. Just that story, I think, is illustrative of the disappointment that our organization caused people. I'm more profound than Andy on that I looked a lot of people who would look forward to reinstating their career, coming back from COVID, and we looked at kind of the comeback kids that we could be a leader in the community to show a path back safely within a COVID environment to do this. And so this was our test. Could we do that? Could we invite the community safely into a group event? And obviously, the importance of bringing community together during COVID was not respected. And
Dell Loy, how did that happen? I mean, how did that happen? If it was, where did it happen? That I mean,
LA decided not to take the field. I think there was a lot of pressure that was coming from other leagues. The NHL played their games the very night Portland and LA and the USL played at the same time. I think there was pressure coming through various groups, and I think there was a lot of indecision. Our team was fully prepared to play until 6:10. The 6:10, I think some communication came through through Zach McMath, and people were, what should we do? So I don't think there was a strong thing, but I'm sadly disappointed that we didn't weigh the respect for $12 an hour employees that we shook hands with them an hour later and said, you won't have a job here, there, and we will not be inviting fans back to the stadium in the future. So tomorrow, Monday, I start having to cut 40 to 50 jobs again. I mean, we would not go through the risk of inviting people back to have that kind of an outcome.
Yeah.
So,
we didn't even, it's funny when you mentioned that. Those are the kinds of things that nobody really considers when they look at it from the outside. All of the hot dog vendors, the staff, everybody coming back, and then that's terrible. Let's the future. Where do we go from here? How do we move forward from this?
Well, I think the question comes in is the sad part. As you know, I'm very, very supportive of an inclusive, fairly liberal agenda. That is who I am.
Yeah.
I've been strong in favor of that, but maybe that agenda has gotten so far that we're punishing all sides of society that would love to support, an inclusive society. But then when you do that, the fact is saying, because maybe you're so accommodative or you're caring that you can be easily slapped. And I take it as a profound slap at our community value structure of trying to build an organization that develops youth, supports the community through our foundations, that reaches to employ 250 people here. And then when it says, well, there's another issue in society, why don't we punish you? So while I don't know that that's the direct intention, that's the result, that a lot of people would be punished. I mean, we'll have to lay people off from our foundation today. We'll have to lay people off that's from Levy, from, our food, Real Food. I mean, the implications become profound. We don't know that the players will go to Portland and play. We don't know that.
Yeah.
So we're all sitting here looking that we're in an organization that's trying to build support and love around a team that supports the city. And all I can say is they supported other issues nationally, but they clearly did not support our city nor our organization. That's fairly clear.
I can sense the disappointment about that in your voice, Mr. Hansen. I have every confidence, though, as one of your employees, that you and Andy Carroll and the organization around Real will find a way through that.
It's a moment of sadness. It's like someone stabbed you, and then you're trying to figure out a way to pull the knife out and move forward. That's what it feels like.
Yeah.
It's like the disrespect was profound to me personally.
So just listen to bits and pieces of the interview and everything. It just seems like he's making the team's decision all about himself. Yeah, sure, it does affect other people who play a support role during games, like stadium workers and whatnot. But that statement right there, it just proves that he's pissed for personal reasons. I mean, call it a loss of revenue, call it whatever. The players need to do what they, as a group, feel is the right thing to do. And I hate ending these kind of episodes on sad notes and everything, especially something as serious as this. But I just thought that it was important to talk about. I thought it was important to bring up, let you guys hear the interview if you guys hadn't heard it. And like I said, I mean, the rest of the interview and everything, if you guys want to hear the whole thing, it's in the show notes and everything. But let's try to end the episode on more of a positive note. And I don't know how much of a positive this is, but if you're not following the podcast on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, follow at Free Kick Pod. If you're not following the website, if you haven't checked out the website, check it out at thefreekickpodcast.com. Wherever you get your podcast, The Free Kick, Todd Lewis. And yeah, this game, like I said, against Columbus is going to be a huge game. It's going to be for second place, potentially first place if Toronto loses. But more than likely, I'll have a Columbus fan, hopefully, or somebody on the podcast to preview that game and everything. I know I wanted to do that last episode, but I did not. But I would do my best to try to get somebody on to preview that Columbus game and everything. But, as always, with that said, my name is Todd, and this is the Free Kick Podcast.